The Galactic Council's war chamber buzzed with anticipation. Representatives from 17 civilizations surrounded the holographic display showing Earth, a small blue marble spinning helplessly in the void. Admiral Vextar of the Korthani Empire leaned back in his biomechanical chair, his forearms crossed in satisfaction. "The humans have fallen silent," he announced, his translator rendering his clicking speech into standard galactic. "No transmissions, no resistance. Their primitive defenses crumbled within the first wave." Counselor Zarath, a crystalline being from the Epsilon sector, chimed melodically, as expected. "Their technology is millennia behind ours. A single human lifespan is barely a moment to us." The assembled council erupted in what passed for laughter among the various species. They had good reason for confidence. The combined galactic fleet consisted of over 10,000 vessels, each one capable of glassing a continent. Humanity's greatest achievement, their international space station, looked like a child's toy compared to even the smallest scout ship. "Shall we proceed with the final bombardment?" asked General Thrak, his insectoid mandibles clicking impatiently. "The mining operations can begin immediately after planetary sterilization." Admiral Vexitar was about to give the order when Lieutenant Kixra interrupted from her sensor station. "Sir, we're detecting a single human vessel approaching our flagship." The war chamber fell silent. On the main display, a tiny craft appeared, barely the size of a cargo pod. It looked like it had been assembled from scraps, held together with primitive welding and what appeared to be some kind of adhesive tape. "One ship?" Vextar's voice carried amusement. "Are they attempting to negotiate?" "Unknown, sir. The vessel appears to contain only one life form. Shall we destroy it?" "No." Vextar stood, his massive frame casting shadows across the chamber. "Let them come. I want to see what pathetic final gesture these humans think will save them." The human craft docked with the flagship's secondary bay. Security protocols sealed the area as atmospheric processors adjusted for human requirements. Through the reinforced viewing ports, the council watched as a single figure emerged from the vessel. The human was unremarkable by galactic standards, bipedal, soft-skinned, wearing what appeared to be a hastily assembled environmental suit. He carried no visible weapons, no technology of note. Most peculiar of all, his left arm hung limp at his side, clearly injured or disabled. "Bring him to the war chamber," Vextar commanded. Minutes later, the human stood before the assembled might of 17 civilizations. He removed his helmet, revealing a weathered face marked by determination and something else. Something that made even battle-hardened veterans shift uncomfortably in their seats. "I am Captain Marcus Chen," the human said, his voice steady despite the overwhelming presence surrounding him. "I'm here to offer terms for Earth's surrender." The council erupted in jeering sounds. Admiral Vextar raised a hand for silence. "Terms? You are in no position to offer anything, human. Your world is defenseless. Your species faces extinction. What could you possibly—" "I can offer you the chance to leave peacefully," Marcus interrupted. The silence that followed was deafening. Then General Thrak began what passed for laughter among his kind. "One human, one damaged human with a useless arm offering us terms? This is rich even by human standards of delusion." Marcus remained calm. "You're right about one thing. I do have a damaged arm." He lifted his right hand, flexing his fingers. "But I only need one hand for what comes next." "And what exactly comes next?" Vextar asked, genuinely curious about this human's apparent madness. Marcus smiled, an expression that somehow contained both sadness and steel. "You've studied human history, haven't you? You know about our wars, our conflicts?" "Primitive tribal squabblings," Counselor Zarath chimed dismissively. "Maybe. But you missed something important in your research." Marcus reached into his suit with his good hand, producing a small device no larger than his palm. "You see, humans have this peculiar trait. When we're truly desperate, when everything we love faces destruction, we become creative." The device in his hand was crude by galactic standards. Basic circuits, primitive power source barely held together with human engineering. But something about it made the more advanced species in the room suddenly alert. "What is that?" Vextar demanded. "This," Marcus said softly, "is what we call a dead man's switch. It's connected to every nuclear warhead on Earth, all 15,000 of them. But that's not the interesting part." He paused, watching their expressions change. The interesting part is what our scientists discovered 3 months ago when you first entered our system. You see, your ship's quantum drives create a resonance frequency. We've modified our warheads to exploit that frequency. General Thrax's mandibles stopped clicking. Impossible. Your technology cannot interfere with quantum mechanics? You're right. Under normal circumstances. Marcus's smile widened. But you brought your entire fleet into Earth's magnetosphere. Every ship, every drive signature, all resonating in perfect harmony. The implications hit the assembled council like a cold wind. Counselor Zareth's crystalline form began to vibrate with what might have been fear. You're bluffing. Even if such a thing were possible, the energy release would destroy your own planet. Yes, Marcus said simply. It would. The word hung in the air like a death sentence. Admiral Vextar leaned forward, his voice dropping to a whisper. You would commit genocide against your own species? To prevent our enslavement? To ensure that other worlds don't suffer the same fate? Marcus nodded. In a heartbeat. But your children, your civilization, everything you've built. Marcus's expression softened for just a moment. I have a daughter on Earth. She's 7 years old. She likes to draw pictures of stars and dream about visiting other worlds. His voice hardened again. I won't let her grow up as your slave. None of us will. The war chamber erupted in frantic clicking, chiming, and other sounds of distress. Lieutenant Kixra's voice cut through the chaos. Admiral, I'm detecting massive energy buildups across the Earth's surface. The quantum resonance signatures are real. Admiral Vextar stared at the human standing calmly before them. One man, one functional hand, and the power to destroy the greatest fleet the galaxy had ever assembled. You're insane, he whispered. Marcus shrugged. Maybe, but we're also free. The question now is, are you leaving peacefully or do we all die together? The vote was unanimous. Within 6 hours, the combined galactic fleet had withdrawn beyond Earth's solar system. As Marcus's battered ship limped back toward his homeworld, Admiral Vextar sent one final transmission. This is not over. Human. Marcus's reply was broadcast on all frequencies, ensuring every ship in the fleet heard it. Yes, it is. And tell the rest of the galaxy something for me. Humans don't make good slaves, but we make excellent ghosts. The fleet jumped to hyperspace, leaving Earth's system empty except for one small blue world where a species had just announced to the universe that they would rather die free than live in chains. In the months that followed, word spread through the galactic community. Avoid the third planet of Sol system. The beings there were completely, utterly, beautifully insane, and for the first time in galactic history, that insanity had been enough to make an entire civilization's enemies turn away, rather than face the consequences of victory.